Hey everybody, this is Jim Brogan talking to you, and today I'm going to talk about a topic that is really hot and been a topic of contention for quite a long time, and it's rising to a head right now, and it's really important, and there are a lot of misconceptions, and that is abortion. Right from the outset, I want to tell you, my religious beliefs oppose abortion. I am in agreement with those who, from a religious perspective, believe that life starts at conception. And this is because of the religions that I have participated in for most of my life and the specific interpretations of the Bible that I have been inculcated into. And therein is the rub. Because here in America, religion is not supposed to dictate law. To use religion to establish law is to elevate a religion above other religions. Now, if a law is universal, if a religious belief is universal across all religions, like murder is wrong, all the way back to Hammurabi's law, got murder is a life for a life. The Bible wasn't the first to come up with that. This is universal. Murder is bad. Killing people is bad. This is universal across the board. But when it comes to conception, when it comes to when does a life start, religions disagree, including Christian religions and religions based on the Bible, and science is in disagreement with those who claim that life starts at conception. So here in a free country where the First Amendment to the Constitution forbids Congress to elevate any religion above other religions, to codify into law a religion, we can't base this decision on religion. Although some religions interpret the scripture in Exodus referring to a woman being injured by a man and losing her pregnancy to mean that as long as the baby is born okay, it's just a fine, but if the baby dies, it's a life for a life. A thousand years of rabbinical law has held that it's the woman. If the woman is okay, the baby dies, but the woman is okay, then it's just a fine. Then the person causing the death of the fetus owes a fine to be decided by a judge and the father. The woman's not even involved. Remember, the Bible's very patriarchal. It's all about the man. So, 1,000 years of rabbinical law and the interpretation of most Christian religions up until the last 100 or 200 years has been that the fetus was not a life, but property until it was born. The fetus was treated as property until it was born, not as a life. The woman, her life is what mattered. If she died, then it was a life for a life. If she died because of the injury that caused the baby to be killed, then it was a life for a life. Her life was the one that was lost, and so the person who was responsible for her dying would be killed. That is the interpretation that existed for 3,000 years, 4,000 years. Remember when the Bible was written, when Exodus was written, there were no incubation chambers. There were no intensive care units. There were no emergency rooms. There was no way to save the life of a child that was born premature. A premature birth, a miscarriage, meant that the child was dead. Period. There's no, the baby was, it was a premature birth, but the baby was okay, so we're just going to charge a fine because the baby lived. No, that's just garbage. Absolute garbage, and you know it. You know that's garbage. The Bible in Genesis says that life began for Adam and Eve when God breathed the breath of life into them. Not when they were conceived in a womb, when the breath of life was breathed into them. There's nothing in the Bible that speaks of abortion being right or wrong. It just doesn't mention abortion in any way, shape, or form. It describes all kinds of things to do with a woman, her pregnancy, her monthly cycle. There are all kinds of things that it describes, but it never, ever, ever talks about abortion. And we know for a fact that means and methods of causing abortions, of causing an unwanted pregnancy to go away, has existed since time immemorial, for thousands, many, many thousands of years, predating the writing of the Bible, predating the earliest scriptures. So we know that there were abortions back then. In fact, the Talmud allows for abortions in many cases, and requires it in a case where the woman would die if she were to go through with the pregnancy, go through with giving birth to the child, because the woman who is already alive, her life has more value than the baby. This equivalence of the fetus has equal right to life to the mother. That's not universal across all peoples who believe in the Bible, the reading of the Bible. It's just not. And again, elevating one religious belief above all other religious beliefs is forbidden in the First Amendment to the Constitution. So here we have the First Amendment to the Constitution is the first thing that is wronged by laws against abortion. So you are giving up religious freedom, or rather, a specific religious belief is being used to take away everyone else's religious freedom. This is forbidden in the Constitution. Absolutely forbidden. The Supreme Court's got this wrong if they overturn Roe versus Wade, number one. And everyone's screaming about other people's right to have an abortion have got this wrong. Look at it from this perspective. Do you want the government coming into your home, telling you how you can raise your children, telling you how you can discipline them, what you have to teach them, what religious beliefs they have to have, what chores you're allowed to make them do? Do you want the government dictating everything that you can do with your child and have to do with your child in raising your child? Or do you think that's government overreach? Because if you think that's government overreach, then understand, having the government step in right while the child is still in the womb and make laws governing what the mother can do with the child while the child is still in the womb takes away all of those rights. You've already given the government primary custody of your child. You've already given the government primary rights over what can and cannot be done with your child, and how your child can and cannot be raised, and what must be done with your child, what must not be done with your child, what chores you can make them do, what discipline you can take or must not take. You've already given over all of your family rights right at the outset, because you've said the government has authority over that child before it even comes out of the woman. While it is still in the womb, from the moment of conception, you don't have any say over your child. You have given it to the government because they can determine whether or not you can have an abortion. Is that really what you're going for with this? Because that's where this leads. It's called a slippery slope. And it's a very steep and well-oiled slope. You get on that slope, you can't stop. It's going downhill. Okay, so that's point one, and I'll cover point two in my next video. Be sure to watch it. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Love you to pieces, and I hope we can all come together and understand that we all have a right to be here, and that none of us has a right to tell another how to live their life, or how to raise their children, or how to come into a family. God bless you. I wish peace and prosperity on all of you.